side here. Here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up. That's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. How you doing? How you doing?
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Howdy, boys and girls, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Manny here with another show, the Guitar Show in Sydney. Carrying on with this neck build. What have we got? So we did the frets last week on Friday or Saturday, I should say. We've got that rosewood board all polished up and oiled. Looks good. Got to put some side dots in it now and get ready to do some finishing sanding and just another application of stain. We get the oil on there. So we've got a little bit of work to do with that. Firstly, let's see who's on. Willie Won't Go is in the house. I look handsome today. I have my new attire. I went and got some gear, and it's getting cool, so I thought I'd put on some warmer clothes. Paige, what's going on? Hello to you too. Welcome on in. Okay, what are we going to do? We are going to put some dots in this guy. I'll show you the body. There we go. We've got this guy pretty much ready for finishing sanding as well. We do need to put the holes in the back there and the ferrules for the screws, and that's pretty much all that's left on the body. And then we start doing the fine sanding, getting that ready for oiling as well. So we're almost at the finishing stages. We've still got electrics to do, so we're waiting on pickups to arrive. Mr. Glynns is making a set of what they call Cloud 9 humbuckers, and they're quite ballsy. They're nice and rocky and very versatile, but very good. And we'll be putting those in as soon as they arrive. But we've got a lot of body work to do. I'm going to flick you to the bench. We're going to get stuck into these dots. We're going to put some little white dots on the side there. So we will do that. I'm going to bring this guy down here. We're going to mark out where we want them first. So we generally go just above the fretboard line. We mark them at 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 15, 17, 19 and 21. This is a 24 fret neck, but we're going to go and basically focus on those major markers and get some of these little guys in there. So let's get out some of our tubing that we use. It's about 1/16 of an inch in diameter, very tiny dots, but little rods, and we stick them in the holes that we drill, and we could snip them and scalpel them and sand them flush, so you get that little dot looking in that little marker at every position that we have a corresponding dot on the fretboard. Okay, drilling no good. Terry, you love it. It's just like going to the dentist, only better. How you doing? Good to see you here. Welcome on in. We have to find this guy as well, the truss rod cavity. We're going to do that as well. We're at the final stages now of this neck, but that neck's looking really good. That profile's really nice. Okay, let's mark out this guy. I'll grab some pencils, make a little mark, check the straightness of it, of course. I've lost everything. Derry, I've lost everything. What do we do when I lose everything? We issue some kind of lost command, don't we, or something like that? Lost, that's it. Like the series, like the TV series, only better. That's my new motto. Alrighty, what do we got? Let's get ourselves organised here. Got a little pencil down here in this box. Let's get that pencil out. Okay, so going to be very careful with a very nice straight edge. What I'm going to do is grab a piece of tape and I'm going to tape that guy straight across just above the join line where I want these dots to go. Like that. Okay, so we've marked those out. We've got that little gap there we've got to work with. So that way we'll ensure that we get them nice and straight. Now, I'm going to mark the center. The center is there, between those two frets. Center is there. Center is there. Once I get the center, we'll get the depth right. 9, 12 has 2. And then we've got 15, 17, 19, 21. Okay, there's our center lines, and now we've just got to mark it down onto this guy here. I'm just going to use my spike straight away. Actually, no, I'll use the pencil mark. Right where the paper meets the wood. And then I can double check them. 2 dots here. Make sure you guys can see the whole shebang. Okay, and what I do now is I can take that off, and I have a very straight line of dots. And now all I need to do is, before I hit them with the spike and make those permanent, I'm just going to make sure I've got them on the right frets. Yes, 3, so there's 1. That's for fret 3. We will pop that guy in. Like so. So our drill's going to go. This guy here. Like so. Two here on the 12th. And 15th. Seventeen, 19, 21. There we go. Now we get our little drill and we drill those holes. So let's grab our little 1/16 or whatever size we're grabbing. I think it's that one. Yep. So 5/64 actually. It's probably, yeah, it is about 5/64. Which is about a 12th almost.
How many of you patients hung up when they learnt his name? Whose name? We're not going to lose, buddy. Mr. Klutz.
That's almost as good as Dr. Butcher and Dr. Death.
That's a true story as well. Dr. Hurt, there's another one. But going, yep, absolutely.
There's two sprint commands. I'm really, really impressed. There's a boring and a bedoing. It's very good. Okay, drill time. Just a couple of millimeters in we go. We've got the marks. We know where it's going. Drill a little hole. Do a little dance. Two holes here on the 12th. One. Get a good look at that guy. Two. Done. So there's all our holes. You can probably see those little guys. Just above the line, nice and straight, nice and even. And we're good to pop the little, Terry's favourite things, the little white rods. Little baby guys, look at them all. Little baby guys everywhere. We're going to use the white ones, of course. There's black ones as well for maple fretboards and light coloured fretboards. This is a dark sort of fretboard, so big rosewood. We'll grab our glue and we'll work with two rods at a time. Get it down.
Little baby guys, that's right.
All right, got our glue. Let's just test that. Make sure that's not locked in. That's open. Good. Just a couple of little, oops, drop the rod. Grab that. Okay. Little dab of glue. Stick it in the hole. Let it sit there for a bit. Take the next rod, move it along, and we just alternate. We just relay between the two, like a running relay. Pass the baton. Runner two. There he is. He's off and running down the stretch. Then we grab this guy and we make sure that it's glued in. It's not glued in. Need more glue. Grab our snippers, snippery dippers. Where is it? Where are they? Here they are, right in front of my boggly eyes. And you can see the dots. They quite
quite prominent once they're in there. Greg, diamonds, real diamonds. Not pretend cubic zirconias, but real diamonds. Go in there for a sec, let it cure. I don't want to squeeze too much. Almost there. Moving right along, couple to go. 3 to go. Oops. Lucky last. Doodly-dee-dee-doo. Radio. Snip this guy. Let that cure for a second.
So we've got to find this one here, the channel, the truss rod channel, okay? And this is the one where Terry has kittens. Every time we get that big long drill out to find that cavity, but we've got to do it. Yeah, drill a hole, do a little dance. That's exactly right, Terry. Looking good today. I've got all my gear, all my new range, my winter range. I'm going to get the guitar show on this winter range of workwear. We have our flannel shirt. We have our canvas pants, all looking smart and slick and schwick. No, we're going to have a range of work clothes, I think, soon. Get out of the guitar business and into the tailoring business. That's what. Drill a little hole, do a little That's what we're about to do now. Drill a massive, great big hole looking for that truss rod. Terry, are you scared? There should be a scared command where it says Terry shakes. You should see the leaves falling from the trees today. It's a little bit breezy, but it's just a beautiful time of autumn, and I've got an oak tree in the neighbour's yard, and he's of course dropping all these leaves in my yard, which is okay. I just mulch them up with a mower anyway, but it's pretty to watch though. I love watching leaves fall. It's something serene about leaves falling, just floating to the ground. A great T-Rex dance. Ha! Get it on, bang a gong. Get it on. Speaking of gongs, don't forget the cowbell. We love our cowbell. Thanks to the lovely ladies from the US of A who sent me that. You know who you are, the collective cuckoos, as I call them. Very nice. I'm a friend. We're friends, Mav. I've got lots of friends. I can count them on one hand. As my dad said, you don't need more than, you should be able to count all your friends in one hand, and even then you need to have about 3 fingers spare. You don't need many. But it's good to have friends in many places, or acquaintances. The whole world's your friend. That's how it should be. Okay, right. We've got these little dots there. There you go. Look at that. Look how prominent they look. You can see those a mile away. When it's dark, you can see them. You can look down if you have to. And you've got your position markers on that fretboard. We've got to just let those cure. See how prominent they are? We've got to cut them with a scalpel down flush with the timber and give them a light sand before, as I sand the rest of the neck, just a fine sanding, before we give it another coat of stain and then oil. So, next thing is this guy here. Let's work out what we're going to do about that before Terry has kittens. Drill a little hole, do a little dance. That's right. Excellent. Another clip. Dana the Clip Queen making little movie clips of goofballs in their workshops. Let's put this drill away and let's get the big, long drill out. Where is my favourite thingy bob? What's me do it? Okay, here we go. I'm going to use this little tiny baby guy first, this little thin guy, just to find the centre. Punch a little centre hole, and then we're going to use the longer one and get that shaft right into that neck cavity. Okay, the way we do this is very simple. We know the thickness of the truss rod, and I'll show you in a minute. We'll grab a truss rod, and a truss rod, for anyone that doesn't know, is a metal rod, a couple of metal rods actually. This is a two-way, so there's a threaded rod at the bottom and a flat metal rod at the top. They are welded together, and as we tighten this nut and push tension against those rods, the spring metal rod at the top buckles either that way or that way, and that enables this rod to either curve upwards or curve downwards, making the neck either bend away like that or scoop out like that to give it relief. That's a back bow, as they call it, and that's a relief bow. Looks like a boat, like a U shape or a upside down U shape. So we want it to be perfectly straight where possible. Sometimes a little relief in the middle is necessary, so because of the player wants that little that feel. So we do adjust the relief as required. I like them dead straight. Some people like a little bit of bow in the middle. Some people don't want don't want back bow, but back bow happens when wood moves with humidity and temperature changes. Some necks shrink and pull themselves down, and you get that back bow. That's where we adjust through that cavity that we're about to drill, that rod that's sitting in there. We turn it one way or the other to make it bow the other way and correct that bow and straighten it. Okay, so that's a little lesson there on truss rods and bows on necks and why we have them. Now we've got to find that guy. So what we're going to do is measure the thickness of this guy. I don't actually measure. What I do is I line that guy up to where I've installed it, like so. And I roughly know where it is. And you don't have to be exactly precise, but you've got to be close enough. And we get it pretty much bang on. So I can see here that the tip of the screw or the nut is level with the surface of the neck, and that's deliberate. The thickness of this neck, this head here, allows for the tip of that rod, the bottom of that rod, or the middle, I should say, of that, the middle of that guy, to be in line with the top of the neck headstock. So what I do is I grab a straight edge, like my trusty flat pencil that I use for finding out the slot depth and the string height on the nut, and we just turn it over and use it on this guy. Now we know where that guy is going to touch that curve. Is going to be the center of that cavity. Now, that looks pretty good. If I look down at that, it's roughly, and when I say roughly, I mean exactly where the center of that tube is going to be. So, knowing that, I just measure halfway across here now with my little ruler, my little slide rule, this one here, and it should be 44 or so. It is 44. So we'll measure 22 across. 22 millimeters, and we'll mark it there, and we'll transpose that center line down to here. So if I go 22 from this end as well, that's the center of that neck, believe it or not. Have an eyeball, yes, it is dead center. So if I project that down to here, that is where my hole needs to be. And if I drill that into there and down at a very slight angle and then in at about an inch, I should hit the middle of that truss rod, and that's enough of an opening to allow the key to go in there to turn that truss rod as I need to. Okay, we're going to start with this guy. Why do I start with this guy? Well, actually I start with this guy. Always mark where I need to drill, and always bang a little guide hole, a little pilot hole, just to help that drill catch. There's a little pilot hole. And now we're going to use this guy. He's going to bite in there and drill, get it started. Okay, simply hold it at almost parallel. I start drilling into the neck until it cuts through, and then I straighten up. And then I get the bigger drill and I find the channel itself. Look at that guy. And the reason I use this long bit that's about 1/4 inch is because I don't want the drill to be rubbing against the headstock. I need that way out here. And so we get this guy parallel rather than going through an angle. We want that running parallel, so we get to about there and we hit that rod. Okay, and we just tap in again. Got it. And it also creates that very nice little teardrop or water drop shape. And if I look down here, blow some air out, and if I look down there, you can see the little round
Can you? Let me just check that. Make sure I have reached that. Oh yeah. I'll grab a key and see if I can actually get the key in there. That's the test. 4mm is the size of that nut. So we get a 4mm Allen key. And we go looking for it. Oh, look at that. What do you know? It's perfectly, fits perfectly. It found it straight away. So that's sitting in there, and we can turn it that way or that way. And we can tighten that righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, as the old saying goes. So loosen it up or tighten it up to give you a back bow or to give you a proper bow. And there's a little hole there. So that was easy. Terry, are you okay? Are you conscious or did you faint? Terry always hates that part, but we always get it right. We just take our little preliminary steps and we nail it every time. It shouldn't be funny, but it is. Ha! Dr. Hurt. Terry's pinned that clip. God help us all. So, what have we got to do left now? Well, we get to get a little bit of paper, and I'm going to grab some 400, and I'm just going to give that guy a little clean, just around the edges. Get any fibre splinters from the drill. A few little guys. Just going to round those edges over a little bit, make it look a little bit slick. Grab a little bit of rough paper. Roll that up like a cigarette. Just give that a little sanding. There we go. And we're going to stain that guy after we sand the rest of that neck and obviously even out that colour. So what I did there was I just rolled that guy up like a big fat doob, and I pretty much sanded the edges of that guy, just got the splinters out of there to make a nice little smooth doobie what's it. And we're going to stain that, of course, to match the colour after we finish the final sanding of this guy. What I want to do now is just flush, cut, these are set now, and I want to just flush those out of there. Now, let's put this big dangerous, this is Lisa or Willy Wonka's favourite tool, along with the Shinto. If it's Japanese, Lisa's Inuit. Okay, these two things are Lisa's favourite tools. Now, Terry's favourite tools are the micromesh pads and this drill. She loves this drill. Am I right, Terry? Gives her heart palpitations every time. Where's my scalpel? Nurse? Scalpel. I need a scalpel. Where is it? Here it is. Nice and seriously, it's a surgical scalpel. Stainless steel, surgical grade steel. A new blade. Very sharp. Very soft, but very sharp. And we're about to perform a little trim of these guys here. So just pushing away from my body. Nice and easy. Let the thing bite. And it's a little bit difficult. This glue is rock hard. And I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to dig into the wood. So that's all I do. Take off that little tip. And then I can sand that flush and it looks like it's part of the neck, and it was always meant to be there. I've got to control this very carefully. Like that, very gently. There we go. Because once it cuts through, it can slip and bite into and leave a big gouge in the fretboard, and I don't need that. No, I do not love the drill. Lies. Scalpel. Absolutely. It is. Nurse. Nurse some Novocaine. And get some for the patient as well. Oops. Be very careful with this blade because it does tend to slip out. There we go. Boo, 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 bah. You can hear Buddy barking in the background. Someone's probably at the door. Who knows? Can you hear that guy going off? Boo. Come on. That's it. Come on. Gotcha. Okay, that's all done. We can sand that guy now. We've got that guy sorted. We've got everything else sorted. There's our neck. Of course, the next thing to do is to fit this guy in the body and get a line where those drills, where those holes are going. So, what I'm going to do now is just do a little bit of light sanding in here. There's a couple of little spots here, and give this another coat and put it aside. And then we're going to get those holes done in that body. So I've got some finishing sanding to do here. I'm going to use 80 grit because I need to get rid of those scratches out of that. They're not that deep, but they are a little bit prominent. This will take the colour off, but that's okay. I deliberately stain it for the first coat just to highlight those big gouges. You can see the stain sits in the scratch so that it's easy to see until it's no longer there. I've got a couple of little scratches here to work on. Once I get rid of those, you can see that scratch, how it's prominent. Okay, it's a little gouge there. I'll just keep working off that until it's gone. Then I hit it with some 400. Sorry, some 240, not 400. Okay, that scratch is now gone. No longer there, clean. It's that easy. It just makes it easy to see. I've got some scratches up here. That's gone. Got a little mark here. That's gone. Nothing else there. Anything down here? Yes, we've got a couple of rough spots down the back here in the heel. Not many. A couple just here. I'm going to work out this transition. This line here, this glue line is really, there's a little bit of glue that's seeped out. It's sort of stained in there. I've got to finish that, get that right. So I'm just going to hit that little transition. Okay, that's clean there. This little line here needs some work. Grab my little ribbon guy, just cut a little piece of that guy. About a square inch, just to help me get into, and I just bend it like that and just get into those little corners. And it's cleaning up that glue to make that line a little bit finer. That's what we want. That's better. That's a lot better now. You can see it's a lot finer. Okay. Just clean up this heel. Go with the grain. Try not to scratch across the grain as much as possible. And that's a lot finer now, that heel mark. Just get rid of that colour here so I can get an even coat. Hit that with a 240 and then we're good to go with the stain. Okay, I'm going to hit that with a little bit of the, what have I got here? Where's that 240? Here's the 240. I'm going to hit the whole lot now with the 240 and clean that all up. Oh, one thing I need to do is get some glue off the heel here. Even though you can't see this, I do want to clean it up. So I know you don't see it, but I want this line here cleaned up. You can see there's a lot of glue that's come out of there and the stain has made it prominent. So I'm just going to rub that down and just clean that up a little bit. I know that it's not a big deal because it will be in the pocket, but you know what? When you take the neck out, if it ever needs to come out, I want people to see that whoever worked on this neck was careful to clean up. We don't want to be sloppy about things. We need to make sure that they are nice and clean as we can get them anyway. It's like buying a pair of white tennis socks and they've been sitting around oxidizing somewhere and they've got a yellow stain to them even though they've never been worn, and you think, well, that's off-white. They're not white. They're a creamy color or an off-white color. It's like you want them clean, you want them as new as you can get them. So by doing that, we can get rid of that thick line and we've got a very fine, clean line now. And when we stain that, you'll see a little line, but there's no lumpy glue bits hanging out or making it look sloppier than it has to, or looking as clean as it can be. Now, the other thing we need to do is sand with the 240 now and also hit those dots we just did. Okay, so let's clean up this color here, get that even on the corners. And what I'm going to do now is get the 240 and do the rest of that guy. And then we're going to stain it clean and then we're good to put oil on it. Okay, 240. 240 is a very good grit in that it still takes a little bit of fine layer off, but it doesn't leave huge scratches. It's almost a medium grit and it can give you a very smooth finish. And we're hitting the fretboard as well and getting those little dots done as well, carefully. Not too much because we don't want to scuff up any of that fretwork that we've done. So I'm working just below the fret line. Just going to sand that guy so that it's pretty clean. Just to even out the colour. tidy up the headstock. Wherever there's a little bit of stain left, it means there were some scratches in there and it's sitting in there, so I'm just going over that until I don't see any stain left. And then I know the scratches are gone. Now that looks pretty good. Nice and clean. We can stain that guy almost in a minute. What I need to do is get these dots done properly. So I'm just going to rub those very carefully. That nice and clean. You can see that there's glue on that one, and that one's clean. You can see it's a lot cleaner around the edges.
240, 400, 600, 800, 1200, then, wow, Terry, that's taken it to a new level of OCD. You impress me every day with your OCD abilities. Just when I thought there's a drug to fix that, you come up with that. And I'm back at the drawing board. Awesome. Lady 1241, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Good to see you here. I'm going to grab my little 80 and try hitting it with something a little bit harder, because that glue is a bit hard. Maui, is she in the house? No, she's not. I'm looking at an old message. Okay, that's good. Dana took it to the OCD level. Oh, she did she? Sorry, my mistake. It doesn't change the fact that you're suffering from OCD as well. And I know that you know I don't mean that in a nasty way. I actually admire your level of kookiness, brought about by your OCD thingamy-bob. Looking good now, just getting rid of some of that residue from that glue that's squeezed out of those little guys. You know, once we oil that guy, it's going to look really nice and clean. First things first, while we've got this guy sorted, okay, that's sanded, that's pretty much done. Grab that 240, just do this heel a little bit. I'm going to sign the heel now and put the serial number on the inside of the heel. And then we're going to coat it with some colour. And then oil goes on and then we're good to go. Okay. Clean up this headstock, just get some of that colour off, so you get a more even break. There are some scratches there I've got to work off, I just saw those. Better. Okay.
Lovely. We're good to go. This little guy here. Okay, let's get some stain out and let's finish this neck colour. I will sign that guy first. So we want to put the serial number and a signature on there. We grab our little fine artistic pens. The 2mm should be good, I think. Yeah. And this serial number is as follows. AU for Australia or Australian made. The date backwards, year is 23. The month is 06. It'll be commissioned in this month, so we leave it at that. The model is a neoclassical NC 6 string. And the build number is 036. That's the serial number. We've got to sign this thing now. Okay, there's the signature of the builder. That will go on the heel. There'll also be another one in the heel, and on the back of this, the serial number will also go on the back of this guy. And the signature will go on the front, but after we oil it. Okay, so that's just there so that we know what serial number and that matches to the body. Fibonacci makes you happy. It would make you happy. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh. Right, so we're ready to put some colour on that guy. We've sanded that clean. Let's get the colour nice and bronze, nice and coppery, because it's a cedar that we're applying, a red cedar colour. Just to darken that up a little bit, we're going to match the body, the back of the body with that as well. That's fine. Let's do that right now. We're going to do the front of that as well. So we're going to do the front first. Let me grab. Cedar stain, which is right here. Grab some gloves because that stuff is not water-based, it's spirit-based, and it's going to stain me like crazy, and I don't want to use acetone and harmful stuff like that to get it off. Bless me, thank you very much. Dropping some frames. It looks okay. We've got green on this side, Leslie. There's no real dropout on this end. So my apologies if you are experiencing some difficulties. It may be out of our control. Normal programming will resume shortly, as they say. So let us grab the stain. Grab a little cloth. Do a little dance. And we just go directly onto the rag and just rub that into the headstock first. Rich, beautiful, beautiful rich colour. That cedar, bronzy cedar colour. I love that. I'm going to go into that little guy here. That. Okay, turn that over. Let's zip that headstock first. The edges, I should say. It looks like a rich mahogany colour. Once we get this cedar onto that pinky mahogany, it just fattens it up nicely. Fattens up that colour nicely, and those scratches are all gone now. So that all you can see there is ribbon grain, beautiful satin ribbon grain. The neck transition where the scratch was, that's now clean, that's gone. See that beautiful colour, that grain catching that stain, accentuates that ribbon. We'll just leave that like that. And get this guy stained up nice and red. And we just got to work on the heel. Heel, but that's all right because we've got that transition line there. So it's a different cross pattern of the grain, so that it drinks it up differently. That's all right. That's already stained anyway. We don't need to do anything more to that. Okay. What we need to do now is get these sides done. Down in here. The beauty of stain, of course, is it dries pretty quickly, especially when it's spirit-based. It just gets in there, and within a couple of minutes you touch dry. It's going to run that right along the fretboard there. Get some colour on there. Match that up. You can see that's clean now, that heel cut. A lot cleaner than it was. So that side done. I'm going to flip that over. Touch that corner very carefully. Do this side. Don't forget those edges. And of course, don't forget the back of the heel. Some people forget the back of the heel. So, okay, out with that. Throw that away. Rest that down there. Put these gloves off. Let that dry for a bit. Whew. Willie likes it with a stain. Loving this neck. Live simple. It's a beautiful neck. Let me tell you, this neck is better than I expected. I mean, I expected it to be pretty good, but the way that it's all come together is really nice. So once we get oil on there, it'll amber up and satin up a little bit. It's you can see that ribbon grain. It's captured. It's captured. There's a little bit of flame in there too. For this mahogany, this African mahogany is beautiful to work with, especially. But it's come along nicely. Yeah, that neck's looking good, that shape. So we have to trim the heel. Actually, I shouldn't have done that signature. I'm going to have to do that again because I realized the heel is a little bit on the thick side. I'm going to take about a 1/4 inch off it, then I'll have to re-sign again. But that's okay. I'm just showing you guys what I normally would do to a finished neck. And I don't normally sign till like that. And just pop it down. It's pretty much dry. I'll just let it sit.
You can see there's a little bit of grain going down there. Darker and a little bit of adds a bit of life to it. But that's a lovely colour. And we're going to put that Tasmanian black wood is going to be oiled to bring out the natural colour. For those that haven't seen the natural colour of this guy, I'm going to give you a demonstration right now while that neck dries, because the next thing you're going to do is pop that neck into that body and see how Okie dokie, we're back. So there's our neck. We're going to pop that into the body now and measure how much of that heel needs to be sliced off. So what I generally do when the neck sits in the body, it needs to pretty much, that's a little bit wet. I need to let that dry for a bit longer. When the neck sits in the body, it needs to clear that by about a 1/4 inch or so outside of the pocket to allow enough height of the fretboard above the body so that you can adjust the bridge and have the string sitting as closely to that neck as possible for that as low action as possible. But that's looking pretty good now. So what I'm going to do is keep that resting there. I'm going to grab the body. I'm going to pop that neck in there. Flip this camera around. So. Switch that over.
There we go. And I'm going to pop this guy in there, and I'm just going to measure the height that needs to adjust. So we'll pop that neck in. It's sticking up a fair way. It's sticking up a fair way. I need to bring that down quite substantially. What I need to do is take at least a 1/4 inch off. So I'm going to measure that now. Where's my glasses? I cannot see a thing without them. I've got major buffering. Yeah, there's nothing doing here. Mine's pretty clean. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like there's no dropped frames at my end. Okay, let's measure this guy. I need to take off 7 millimeters, just over a 1/4 inch. 7 millimeters, ladies and germs. So I'm going to measure 7 millimeters on the heel, right here. Grab a sharp pencil. 7 millimeters has to come off. Just over 1/4 inch. That's the line. That's the line. Yep. Do 7 on this side. There's our 7 mil. Join the rest of it. And it does join that line perfectly. So I've got to slice that off. And we're going to use one of Lisa's favourite tools, the Japanese razor saw, to cut that off. Only because it's going to give me more control than the bandsaw, and I need to get that really straight. So we're going to do that. I've got to do the back heel as well. Just do the heel as well. Beautiful. Okay, guys and girls, I'm going to pop this guy in. Somewhere. What I probably should do is, I don't want to use the bandsaw. It's a bit too howdy-doody. I want to control. I'm going to use this guy here. I'm going to use this guy here and slice that across straight down there. I'm going to take that off, and then it'll take that 7 mil out, and then that'll fit in the pocket at the right height. Okay, let's do that. I mean, I could, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's the best way forward. So, without further ado, what I need to do is find a place and a way to clamp this guy down. And the way I do that is as follows. I'm going to lift this up. Burp. I'm going to bring that down. Burp. I'm going to get the little baby. I'm going to clamp it down here, like so. How do I want to do this? This is the question I ask. How do I want to do this? Normally I slip it through there. I might do that. I'll wrap this guy up. Actually, I need to get some foam. Let me grab some foam. Where's that foam? Okay, I've got my padded corrugated cardboard, which is a good thing to wrap the neck in. Like so. That's it, right there. I'm going to clamp that down into place now. Clamps! Terry, where are the clamps? My goodness. We need a couple of clamps just to hold it in place. And the reason I've got that corrugated stuff around it is so that we don't scratch the neck finish. Should have done this before I finished the neck, but I just realized that I needed to do it, so move that up a little bit, like so. I got to grab this guy from the bottom now. There we go. That ain't moving much. It ain't going anywhere. Okay, we can begin. Can you guys see that clearly? We're going to cut down there. Absolutely. The draw saw, yes, the pull saw. We're going to use the cross cut section. We're going to cut that guy. I'm going to cut just outside that line, and I'm going to probably sand it flat. Get any inconsistencies out of the picture. Just going to start very carefully scoring that. Make sure I'm cutting down that line. Yes, I am. That's nice, nice and even. Okay. Just going to switch sides, come over this way, cut it down this way as well. Switch around again. All right, looking good, almost there. Done. And now I'm just going to smooth that out. So that's what we've taken off. Excuse me. Get this off. I'm going to sand that quickly, that heel, and get those scratches off there. Fit it in the neck and just check it. And then we'll be pretty much good to stain that heel and be finished with that neck. So let me quickly give that a quick sand.
And I'm going to need a mask. Terry, do I need a mask for that? Probably a good idea. 4,000 teal. Off to bed she goes. Rest well indeed. Safety, that's the one. Let's hit it. Okay, let's have a look at that neck now. Fit that guy. All right. Switcheroo back to here.
Nice and clean. There's our cut. We've taken a little bit off. Let's fit that guy and see how we look. Oh yeah, that's right down there where we want it to be. So we've got the fretboard just pretty much clearing. Yep, very low action. Yep, we can just see the fretboard. That's exactly where we want it. So we've got the fretboard and the neck is right. The body's just in line with the fretboard and that's where we want it, nice and low. And that'll make that bridge come down nice and low. And we can screw that guy in now. We can actually get that guy screwed in. Just going to check and make sure that looks, I'm going to clamp that guy down. And just check the level, make sure it's all sitting well and looking good. Okay, let's check that. Check that. Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Yep, that's pretty damn good. Okay, that's perfect. So that's ready to go. So there it is there. Let's give you a little look on this side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to mark out. So that's the neck fitted in there, right? We can see the profile of that now. It's where it needs to be. You can see the fretboard just popping up. The neck's just out of the pocket, nice and low. So we're going to get a nice, slick look and feel. I'm just checking to see that this guy is actually not rocking backwards. I think it's okay. Check that. Do a verbal or do a visual. Yeah, that's good. That's, yeah, it's falling away nicely. That's pretty good. Okay. All right. So now we need to drill some holes through there and mark out and work out where this neck's going to go and where those screw holes are going to line up with it. So we'll take that clamp off. We'll take that neck off. And we'll get back to the bench. All right. And we're going to work on where this guy needs to go. So, center line's right there. Pop that neck back in. It's going to measure where the neck sits. The neck sits there and there. And if we measure that, or an inch, 28 on this side. Okay, that's good. That's all right. Okay, so what we need now is we use our plate. One of our old plates, wherever that is, let me find it. Here we go. Just a standard 4-bolt plate, but there's a bit of an adjustment to it. So we grab this old plate. We center it, which is right there. Give me a second, guys and girls. Make sure that's lined up properly. Okay. Mark that out. Going to mark that out now with the spike. Where's my glasses? Glasses, 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 where are you? There. 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 And there. That's where our bolts are going. That's where our bolts are going. Like it or not, I'm going to drill some holes in there now and make sure that that is the case. So I'm going to drop the drill press. On the drill press, I'm going to go through there. So I'll quickly do that in the next room. Actually, I'll take the camera with me. Why not? I'll take the camera with us. Let's move this camera. Quickly move this camera over to the drill press, where we can get this guy drilled, and then we'll know where to mark the holes on the neck as well. Let's have a look there where we got switch cameras. I've got it in there. There we go. Okay. So let's grab this neck. Let's grab that drill. How big are those screws? I think they're. I'm going to use a little drill with this guy here. Actually, no. I'm going to use this guy here. I'm pretty sure that's the one I use for the screws. Yes. Okay. Let's go and get this guy done. So, grab our body, grab our drill bit. Okay, we need to switch over this bit here. much up here? Here it is. Let's get this safety planer off. Okay. Drilling. And we just want to go right through there, okay? Whoa! Something's not right there. Clearly not straight. A drill bit straight, must not be sitting in the chuck properly. Okay, that's that. Back here. Flip the camera back on. Let's go to the other camera. I'll bring that back in. And I will set this up again, and we'll finish off by marking out the neck. And we'll see where the dots go on that neck this time. Get the neck in, straighten it out, put a straight edge along there, make sure that it's all straight and what have you, and then mark out where the doobie whacker needs to go. So, but dialing switch screens. Pop this neck in. So, clamp that down. Okay. Do it this way. Okay. Once we've got that neck in there, we'll grab that straight edge and we'll just make sure that neck is sitting perfectly straight. Lay that straight edge down in the center of that body, right there. Straight down here. Looks pretty good. That's pretty straight. I'm going to just mark the center line up here and make sure it is straight and isn't just an optical illusion. So let's grab some tape. Manny in such good sport when it comes to putting up with the feral mods and all these commands. Thank you, Manny. No, look, no problem. What do we got? Sedidimus, what's going on? Welcome. Use of weapons, thank you for the follow earlier on. Good to see you. I'm going to pop actually I'm going to grab a longer piece. I may as well get a decent line through there so I can really line that up. Okay, so the objective here is to get a center line down here, make sure this neck is placed centrally, and then mark the back through those holes of the body into the heel of the neck so that we know where the corresponding drill holes need to be made, the marks need to be made. So let's grab a pen, let's just mark out a center line here. This should be 44, it is 22. That's the center of our neck. Let's mark that out. Okay, good. And all I need to do now is make sure when I lay this edge across there that it meets the middle of the body of the guitar. It is, that's there. Damn, that is dead straight. Guys and girls, I'm happy. That is dead straight. So we don't have to do anything other than mark that, clamp that down and mark those holes. And we're good to go. Okay, so that's clamped in. Let's get another clamp in there. Lift that guy up, that's in place. I can mark out these two holes here. Grab my spike. Will that reach? Yep. We want to push a hole into another hole into there. And I don't see the third one. That's all we need, the 3 to get started. Okay. Once we get those 3 bolts in, we can do the 4th one. So you can see where the 3 are going. The 4th one will be up there somewhere. 1, 2, and 3. Mark those out properly. So we'll pop a little that way. Okay. What we need to do next is countersink these holes, drill those down with a bigger countersink, because what's got to go in there are 4 ferrules to hold the bolts. I'll just get those ferrules out and show you what they look like with their bolts. There they are, with the screws, I should say, not bolts. So these guys need to go in there. So what we're going to get eventually is this. Here's our screws. These four little black guys are going to sit in there like that. Okay, one. We're going to sink them down. 2, 3, sunk down. They're about 4 millimeters deep. I'll just measure those, and I need to do them on the very accurately on the. In actual fact, what I generally do is go a little bit deeper, and then I countersink the outside and sand it because I want it to look. I want a little rim around there that falls into that hole. I don't want it looking too square. I want to keep with a round theme and those rounded edges by rounding those holes, giving it a slight bevel or a slight countersink. They're 5 millimeters deep, which is just under 1/4 inch. So we'll do those, but we won't do those now. I'm going to do them. When I come back tomorrow. So
that's where I'm going to leave it today, guys and girls. Absolutely going to leave it there. I need to head off, but we've got that neck done. So let's recap. That's all marked out now and sent in the body. Those frets are done. That fretboard is polished. We've got the stain on there. We've got to do the heel, clean that up, stain that, and we've got to get the oil on there. But really much all that's left here is to fit the tuners, get a nut in there, and put that into the body once the body's finished. We've got a lot of body work to do in the next couple of days. We're going to start sanding, fine sanding that, getting the stain on the back of that body. Get some oil on the front. And for those that haven't seen it, I'm going to do that before I leave.
I'm going to show you what the front looks like when we get that oil on there. It's always a fun part of this for me is to highlight this boring top and what it looks like with a little bit of oils and oils on it. So we'll grab some hank juice and we'll put some on there to show you what that Tasmanian blackwood will look like with a little bit of oil. Gopher's in the house. Gopher, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. Okay, here we go. This is what it looks like when doves cry. There's our Tasmanian blackwood. You've got a bit of flame in there. There's a little hole, a little wormhole there. I want to fill that in. I've got a little bit of this little mahogany fill. That will do. Fill that guy in. And we'll sand that flat and you won't see any of that. That's what it looks like with some, that's what it's going to look like with the oil on there. You can see that flame and you can see that corresponding vertical grain too. It's going to be something else. Put those together and you get this.
Gold hardware, Tasmanian blackwood top, nice bronzy colour. Got the carve going. You can see the carve. You can see that profile. The back will be the same colour as the neck. That's cedar with some Danish oil, a couple of coats, satin finish, blackwood matching cap there. So she's coming along nicely. Teamwork. You guys have got all the teamwork going. I can see. Very nice. I like very much. All right. And that, my friends, is the end of that. I'm going to see who's on and I'm going to raid someone. And then I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same bat channel. Let me see who's on. Come on, phone. Matt Burrows is on. Let's go to Matty B, as we probably always do. You like that, Leslie? I knew you'd like that. You're a natural loving person. You are. You love the natural finishes. I can tell. Raid. Charity stream. Let's go. Let's help him out. Go. I've pressed the button, Max. Guys, I'll be back again tomorrow, so hang in there. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And we've had a good time today, and we've got a lot done, so we're getting there. Who's that guy? Oh, Live Simple. No problems, man. Thank you very much. Guys and girls, I'll be back tomorrow, so hang in there. Help out Matt if you can. He's got a charity stream of some sort going on. Let's go check that out. Take care of yourselves. Look after each other, and make sure you look after yourself as well. Manny from the Guitar Show. Back tomorrow. See you then.